Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks. I am one half of the Content Boys, JD Young. Kyle continues to work his way through the professional snowboarding ranks. I assume it's much like Mortal Kombat, where you have to take down a snowboarder on your way to the top. So he is continuing to do that and should be back for tomorrow's episode. If not, we might have to send out a SOS to poor Kyle. But the Sharks lost 3-1 to the Kraken in a game where I thought their offense was going to get going, but could not against Chris Drieger. And just a disappointing loss for the Sharks. But before we get in that, today's episode is brought to you guys by Primal Origin oils. Got beard, get Primal, stop the itch, and make your beard look healthy and groomed. Check out primaloriginoils.com to learn more about their full line of beard care products. Use the promo code Locked On for 20% discount at checkout.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you guys, as always, for making us your first listen, wherever you get your podcasts, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my wife's coffee bar here. So if you're not watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, and then once we hit 500, I will recreate the jumbo slide in my living room with my children and most likely my dog. So, and probably get some sort of massive injury. So please make sure you guys are subscribing so you can see me do that. But the big question, I think, coming from tonight is, where is the offense for the Sharks, right? It feels like when Timo Meier, who was great tonight, like if it's Timo Meier and Tomas Hertl or Logan Couture, like if it's not these top guys doing stuff, the Sharks just have no offense. I know like Matt Nieto was robbed on a massive save by Larson, but like there just isn't the same pressure from the offense, and that's what good teams do. Is they're able to roll their lines and rely on that secondary scoring. And like I said, if it's not Hertl, if it's not Couture, if it's not Meyer, who else is scoring for the Sharks right now? You know, Dahlin's scoring is kind of dried up. I think he's got one goal in the past like 10 or something like that, and it's like, Barabanov has been, I think he's been playing better, but like he's not as much of a scoring threat. And, and it's like, if it's not Carlson scoring from the blue line, who is it right now? And the third line, it's Benito's finally started to score some goals, but Cogliano, he's not much of a scorer. Nieto isn't much of a scorer. And the fourth line has just been a hot mess especially when it comes to scoring. Lane Peterson, just looks lost out there at times. I mean, literally has the puck, like he can't find the puck. And it's getting like, you can only go so far if you're playing good defense and with great goaltending. Like, James Reimer was great tonight, and the defense for the most part was good tonight. Like Simek, I thought played really, really well, and deserves to continue to earn his spot in the lineup. But where are you getting the scoring from? You can't keep winning 2-1 games or 3-2 games. You need to have an ability to have, actual scoring from at least 3 lines, hopefully 4 lines. And that's what the good teams do. And like, Couture finally gets one when they're, they pulled Reimer with 3 minutes left, but they had a bunch of chances and they just couldn't put those away. And especially against a team like the Kraken, was third worst in the league, giving up goals. Like they gave up almost 4 goals a game, and you were able to scratch together 1 goal. It's really disheartening for this team, where if they want to make the playoffs, they're going to be facing your Wilds or your Colorado or somebody like that in the first round. And those guys put up a lot of goals, and like, you can't expect to go into a playoff series and try to win each game 2-1. It's just not going to work out that way. I mean, in the long run, you might be able to win a couple games, but like over the course of a 7-game series, it's tough to continually win that way, especially against great teams. So yeah, it's just disappointing night when it comes to that. So where they just, I know Chris Street, like he made a, I don't want to take anything away from him. He made a lot of great saves, and that Larson stopping that goal, that's a goal 99% of the time. And just if Matt Nieto puts it half an inch one way or another, that's a goal. But it's just they didn't do a good job of getting sustained, especially in the first period, of getting sustained offense. And it was fun watching the back and forth, like going 15 minutes basically without a whistle. Like that's really fun and exciting hockey. But like you got to work on getting those sustained pressure. And I thought that's where they were going to be able to have an advantage tonight, of being able to kind of stay in their zone and kind of work on their offense and be able to, try to continue to develop this offense. And so that way, when you start playing these other teams, your Colorados, your Wilds, your, who Vegas, stuff like that, you can, start to count on some other guys to score goals. And it's so frustrating where it's like they, like I said, they had played pretty well in the defensive zone. Like Simek, that first goal, like you feel bad for Simek because like Simek played really well tonight, and like he was all over the ice, making big hits and stuff, and the puck just bounces off his skate, especially with the shift before. He should have drawn a penalty and did a great job of like jumping in at the right time on the offense, and then the puck just goes off his skate, and that's the first goal of the game, especially in a game where at that point you realize all it was really going to take was just one goal to win the game. So yeah, just a tough night for the Sharks offense. So but after this break, we'll get into kind of who looked good, and then we'll also look at what could maybe the Sharks try to do, if it might be maybe even tweaking the lines or stuff like that. We'll look at those later on. But first, we want to talk to you guys about our friends over at Primal Origin Oils. We've been talking to you guys about them for the beginning of December. Got beard, get primal. You heard me. Got beard, get primal. If you're like me, you got the beard. I've had my beard for almost 10 years now, I think. But there's nothing worse than like an itchy beard or the dandruff, like especially this time of year, and you get it all over your shirt and it just looks gross. And you're always kind of scratching at your beard like that. That just looks gross. That's where Primal Origin Oils comes in. They sent me the butter. It's every night, about an hour before I go to bed, I put some on. It makes my beard smell like cookies, and my wife likes that. So, and it also, gets rid of the dandruff and makes my beard soft. So their products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients with low impact on the planet. Primal Origin Oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butter that are renowned for their best feel and beard products available. All products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the USA. And the combo kits make great holiday gifts. If you're shopping for yourself, you'll be glad you did. So make sure you guys head over to Primal Origin Oils. Check out their products. Like I said, their ingredients are great for the earth, and you're going to feel in your beard that nothing like you've ever felt before. So we promise that they'll see and feel the difference. Use the promo code Locked On to get 20% off at primaloriginoils.com. Again, use the promo code Locked On at 20% off at Primal Origin Oils. Guys, you know what time it is. You're hungry, you're busy working, between work, and then you got to go Christmas shopping, and you got to go do a bajillion other things, go see the lights, take your kids to do all this stuff, whatever it is. Sometimes you just need to take that moment and grab a little snack. That's where I reach for Built Bar. Built Bar has so many flavors. Sometimes you're going to have a hard time choosing whether you want a raspberry, mint brownie, cherry, or double chocolate, cookies and cream, peanut butter brownie. All their flavors are amazing. They give you the extra full fuel if you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers, or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, or if you're just shopping online, but you got to keep checking out different prices at different websites. That's where Built Bar can give you the extra something you need to keep going. So throw one in your jacket or your purse, or you never know when you're going to need it. Maybe you're friends with Santa. Well, tell Santa to throw a few Built Bars into the stockings with so many flavors, they'd make anyone's Christmas morning a happy one. So make sure you guys go over to built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. Again, use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order at built.com. So let's some positive things, right? So the Hurdle Meyer combo with Barabanov has been outstanding since they switched those guys up. Just the way that they feed off each other and their ability of having, kind of a little bit of everything where I know Hurdle and Timo are both going to be power forwards, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to drive to the net. But the way Barabanov also complements them and his ability to pass. And you see this a lot where he'll kind of set up down on the half boards and then, looking for that streaking Hurdle or looking for that streaking Meyer. And, like the more they play together, the more those opportunities are going to click. So, tonight they played really well at the beginning of the game. There, I think after the first period, their Corsi 4 was like 4-0, but then after that, they didn't play as well together. But the Gregor Couture Darlene line played pretty well tonight too. They played for almost 11 minutes time on ice together, had a Corsi 4 of 62.96%, so 63% basically. Outshot the Kraken 12-5 when they were on the ice together. And that's good, what you want to see, especially kind of a new line. I like that line, but I feel like there's something missing, and I don't know what it is yet because Gregor does a really good job with his speed, and Darlene's got the shot, and Couture can kind of blend in what they need, but it's like Gregor, his shooting just isn't as accurate as you would like. And how many times you see him he goes flying down the wing, which is great. He takes a shot and it's like doesn't even get on net, or it goes wide or goes high, and that's where it's like you'd like to see him hit the net to at least, because Couture and Darlene are going to be crashing and they can help clean up those rebounds. So I don't know if maybe switching Gregor back down to that third line with Nick Bonino, if it's Nieto, Bonino, Gregor, if it's Cagliano, Bonino, Gregor, where and try to maybe gets a little bit more scoring on the bottom. But then you still run into that problem of who's going to play with Couture and Darlene, right? And until Ballsters gets back, which hopefully should be here in the next week or two, and LeBanc is going to be gone for we don't know how long. With now they're saying he could be potentially have surgery at the moment. It's tough, and that's where you start pulling pieces. You send William Eklund back to Sweden. Evander Kane is down in the Barracuda and most likely isn't going to be playing with the Sharks ever again. You start pulling pieces off here, and that's what was once a great depth. Now it's like, okay, now guys are having to play out of their position, and that's, I think, been the struggle here. So I'm not sure what to do there. I mean, I think you maybe probably just try to hold on until Barabanov gets back, and then you can kind of maybe mess with the lines a little bit there. They're playing the Canucks here twice the next week. The Canucks have been bad this season, but since they've hired Bruce Boudreau, they've been on a tear. I think they came back and won tonight. So it's like this game that was supposed to be an easy game on the calendar is now quickly becoming a much more difficult game. So we'll preview the Canucks more in depth and later on this week, but it's just like you got to try to, I think you still got to kind of tinker with the lines a little bit to try to find that. Even as much as we like the Couture, or as much as we like the Hurdle Meyer combo, like maybe we might need to spread the offense out a little bit more. But then you're in that same problem where we saw with Hurdle, where Hurdle with Balsers and Barabanov, where it's just like, again, Hurdle's trying to do everything and the other guys just aren't up to snuff to carry them. So yeah, it's there's kind of in a little bit of a pickle right now until guys get healthy and stuff. And I think not having LeBanc as at least a mid-six winger that they're paying him to be has been brutal for the Sharks, to be honest. And this was a guy that you're expecting to score 15 20 goals a season, or Doug Wilson said he's supposed to be a 60-point player, and he's playing on the fourth line and getting healthy scratched, and now he's injured. So yeah, it's going to be tough with now. So I think their identity of playing that defensive oriented game, like that's going to work in spurts, but you still got to be able to come up with some offense. And if your power play isn't outstanding, maybe like a top 10 power play, then you're going to have to try to get those goals 5-on-5. And I'm not seeing where that secondary scoring is coming from right now. And it's a little worrisome. So, before we finish up, we are going to take a quick break to talk about our friends at Bet Online, and then we will get into the defense and how that's looking right now, and if it might be, if the bottom pairing might actually be starting to solidify itself a little bit. So, but first, let's talk about our friends over at Bet Online. BetOnline's got you covered for all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. As football season continues the march to the playoffs, BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action this season. Head over to their new updated desktop or mobile website, sign up today, and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. So the defense, hooray. Middleton, I think the Middleton Carlson pairing has been outstanding, and that's your first pairing, right? Like they've done a really good job, and I think Middleton, as much as we were kind of like whatever about Middleton coming into the season, he has provided that balance for Carlson, and we've seen Carlson having some of his best, you could argue whether if it's best season as a Shark or not, but whatever, like Carlson's been playing great this year, and that's great to see, right? But like the Brent Burns, we talked about this, last week, where it's like the Brent Burns, Mario Ferraro pairing, where they're just getting constantly caved in tonight. And like the second goal that they gave up, where Burns is trying to, Burns is, doesn't have the greatest angle, but then Ferraro is trying to help and just loses his guy and like the trailer. And like, you got to cover that guy and expect your partner to make the right play. And if not, like Reimer's in the right position there. So if Burns is not able to fully cover, at least Reimer should be in the right position. And then if Ferraro is covering the trailer, that goal doesn't happen, right? Because even if they try to get it past, if the Kraken, they try to make that pass, like if Ferraro's in the right position, he's going to block that pass, and they're going to, that's going to spring offense going your way. But, again tonight, where it's just like, like Ferraro, like where it was, so Ferraro, like Corsi 4 was like 41%. So and they're getting outshot 11-15 when he was on the ice. Brent Burns 10-16 shots for, shots allowed. And those guys were on the ice for that second goal that kind of basically put the nail in the coffin when Tanev scored there. And like their expected goals for like Brent Burns expected goals for 0.75, but 0.91 expected goals allowed. Those two guys have the highest expected goals allowed on the team this game. But in comparison, Erik Karlsson had 0.65 goals for, but then also 0.46 goals allowed. And, he basically played, so 5-on-5 time, Burns played 23 minutes, Ferraro played 22.5 minutes, and Karlsson played 22 minutes. So he's right there with them. But, it's just like Karlsson's providing more offense, but also providing a little bit better defense right now. And, Jacob Superstar Middleton, the same thing. So, 0.65 goals for when he's on the ice, but 0.37 goals allowed, and he played 18 minutes too. So like, that's what you want to see out of those guys, is your defense is supposed to be, you're supposed to be letting in less expected goals than what you're producing. So Simek, though, had himself a pretty decent night tonight. So he played 14.5 minutes, 11 shots were 7-7. So that's fine for your third pairing. Expected goals for 0.57, expected goals allowed 0.51. So basically broke even there. But like, I thought his physicality, he did a great job tonight of being physical, and that's what you want to see from Simek. That's the Simek that we all love and know, is when he's out there and kind of being that wrecking ball, and then chipping in on offense whenever he can and wherever he sees fit. Like, he's gonna be a smart player with that, where he's gonna come in, he's gonna pinch when it feels right, and not try to let just pinch just for no reason. So yeah, I thought Simek played really well, and I think I'd like to see him continue to play more. Vlasic was okay. So when he was on the ice, 6 shots for, 7 shots allowed, kind of the same thing. Expected goals 4.5, and expected uh, 0.49 expected goals for, and 0.5 for expected goals allowed. So kind of Simek, kind of same thing. I'm there. It feels like they're they're tentative to pull Simek off. I know, like, some of the Barracuda, like Hadaka has been banged up, and some of those Barracuda like defensemen have been banged up, but like, I don't know. So yeah, it's maybe, I guess, keep it rolling right now until Knizhov gets back, and then you can kind of see what you're at. So but yeah, I think the big thing though right now for the Sharks is there needs to be some change in the lineup. I'd like to see Habawaks play, especially over Lane Peterson. Lane Peterson he ain't it right now. So at least Habawaks, we know he can score. We've seen it with him with the Barracuda. I talked about him on yesterday's show, where he's done that pretty frequently with the Barracuda, and so I'd like to see him get a chance. I like the Gadovich Weatherby. Like, Weatherby's he's not gonna light up the stat sheet, but like, he makes a lot of smart plays. And Gadovich, I feel like he's really close to scoring, and I think we might see one of those, like, where he scores, and then all of a sudden kind of the dam breaks open for a fourth liner. But like, like, you can see the positive plays with him. And I think maybe getting a bit of a scoring touch and Hobwalks on there, and like kind of let those guys go, might be something that they look into. So, but yeah, you can't run out Lane Peterson out there right now too. But yeah, tough loss for the Sharks. In a game which I felt like they gave away the first period, but I thought they were the better team in the second period and for parts of the third. And yeah, just a tough one. So poor James Reimer, he deserves better than that. But we will be back tomorrow to probably preview the Canucks game, and then have a couple guests lined up for next week. So make sure you guys are staying subscribed wherever you get your podcast, or if you're also on YouTube, you can follow us there. Again, please subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, and I will do the jumbo slide in my living room. You can also reach us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks, where we are manning that and always interacting with you guys, because that's what we do. We are the content boys, and we provide the mediocre to decent content for you. You can follow me on Twitter at my fry hole. Kyle is at Kyle Demetrius. And thank you guys for making us your first listen, as always. If you haven't, please leave a 5-star review. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're downloading. All that fun stuff helps us impress the bosses, so maybe they'll give us podcast of the week, which they probably never will. But anyway, thank you guys for making us your first listen. Go check out Locked On Bets, especially with the playoffs coming right now and NFL soon. You want to make some money to help pay down those credit card bills after the Christmas. Locked On Bets will help you out with that. Or go check that Locked On Warriors. I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of Steph Curry stuff today after him breaking the 3-point record. So make sure you guys are going to check out those guys, and we'll be back tomorrow. Bye, friends.